Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again here at a Facebook Live. I'm at one of my restaurants today that I go to. And so I want you to understand that, hey, we got a little music in the background, but we're going to be having a great show today talking about how do you deal with chaos and win in the midst of, how do you win in the midst of chaos? And, I always say the cavalry's not coming, the creek is rose, the levy is giving way. It's up to you to bet on yourself. We got a great show lined up tonight. I have some great information for you on how do you get out of the rat race today. We've even talked about, they even said that COVID is coming back. So how do we deal with all this anxiety that we have that's before us today? How do we compromise our character and some of the things we do that we really don't want to do? How do we move when our back is against the wall? We lost our job. You might have lost a loved one. You might have even lost some dear friends that you grew up with. How do you come back from that? And tonight we're going to talk about how do you encourage yourself? How do you bet on yourself? How do you come out of the rat race when everything is going against you? We living in the information age. You can get on YouTube and TikTok and all those things that are motivational things, but uh, society is saying that we have more depression, more people in isolation, more people that's dealing with uh, uh, just don't know what to do, how to get started. So tonight, I'm going to give you some tools on how you can bet on yourself. And this, hopefully, you're sharing it, and hopefully, you can get something from it, leave some comments. But mainly, what we want to get out of this is we want you to bet on yourself. Okay? The Calvary is not coming, the creek is rose, the levee is giving way. I'm not going to be before you long. I'm just going to give you about 10 steps on how I have motivated myself and how I have always bet on myself and how I can increase my self worth in the environment that I'm in. It's not always good, it's not always pretty when you start to bet on yourself, but I guarantee you that person in the mirror is looking for something on the inside to pull you up out of that bootstrap. So tonight we're going to talk about it. We're going to be encouraged. Surround yourself with people. Share this with as many people as you can. It's always good to share than it is to receive. It's always better to give than it is to receive. Because when you give, that sets your body up to say, hey, I've done something positive. And that's what we got to get back to. We living in a day and time where there's so much negativity, there's so much isolation. What do we need to do? So tonight I'm going to give you some tools that you can use to encourage yourself. The first thing is that you do need to do is to get out of the situation and just change your thought process. This is something that we can control. The when you think of things, always thinking of something that's positive, that sends a clear message to your body, hey, everything is going to be all right. But if you're always thinking negative, that's also sending a clear message to your body is that we're waiting for the next, something to fall down on us. And granted, life is always going to deal you a bad hand. There's no such thing as getting a good hand every single time. But when life deals you a bad hand, what do you do? How do you react to it? You can think your way out of a problem. Okay? Most of us just need to sit back, think about what we're doing, and then act upon what that is. The second thing you got to do is make sure that you must know that the storm will pass also. Okay? The storm will pass also. Okay? The situation that you're in is only temporary. So if you're thinking that it's going to last forever, then your reaction and your process of moving is going to be thinking that. But if you just think that, hey, this storm is temporary, I'm going to come out better. There's a sunny side on the end of this. That gives you something to look forward to. You must learn to look forward to something, even though you might not be having it right then and there. I think what has happened is we living in the information age, and everything we want on our fingertips right now. And we don't give ourselves a chance to grow. We don't give ourselves a chance to make mistakes. And that brings me to the third thing: is Think it says the third thing you must learn is failing and setbacks are not failure. Everybody loves a winner. Okay, I love a winner. You love a winner. And one of our society, we we celebrate winners, but we don't understand that before that winner became a winner or who we consider a person that became successful, they had to go through some things. It was many a night, setbacks, told no. I'm thinking of Disney when he was starting Disney World. People told him no a lot because they said he was building in farmland, he was building in the swampland, and he had a rat that he bet on, and we called his rat Mickey Mouse. And this mouse is world known now because a man had a belief that his vision of a studio or amusement park that would inspire a whole generation of kids. So a lot of times we always want to celebrate the winner, but we don't never necessarily celebrate the process to get to the winning. So don't be afraid that if you have setbacks, don't let that paralyze you. If you have setbacks, that's all a part of the process. Failure is a part of the process. Don't allow yourself to quit on your dream. The fourth thing, and I'm moving right along. The fourth thing, you must learn how to motivate yourself and see yourself as a winner. A lot of times when we start something, we often say, "Hey, when everything is going good, that's when everything is going." But we got to start winning. We got to have some type of success. And when you start to have success, guess what happens? You begin to transform yourself. Okay? When you begin to see yourself as a winner, you begin to transform yourself. It's not always you're going to be on top. Sometimes you got to fall off. But guess what? You're going to be able to come back from that. The fifth thing you got to do is you must start to surround yourself with people that's going to help you achieve your goal. So many times we try to pull people along with us, and they're friends and family, mothers and fathers, and we want to pull those people up out of their situation and we want them to celebrate our successes. But guess what? A lot of times, those are the people that you need to get away from so that you can really concentrate on what you need to do. I'll say it again. Sometimes we need to get rid of the people who we grew up with, family members, friends that doesn't support your vision. And I don't mean necessarily people that always are patting you on the back, but what I'm talking about is people that I have people that give me a kick in the butt, and I know they're my best friends. But I also have people that always, if I say red, they're going to say white. If I say black, they're going to say white. If I say blue, they're going to say green. Get away from those people. If they don't have a vested interest in helping you get to where you want to be, you got to change it up. Okay? Always remember, at the end of the day, it has to be you who's doing this. It has to be you. Okay? The sixth thing that you got to work on, set goals for yourself that inspire you to get up every morning. Sometimes we set goals for ourselves, and the goals that we set for ourselves does not inspire us to get up. We have to set goals for ourselves that will encourage us to get up, that will encourage us to something worth fighting for. A lot of times we set goals for ourselves. Oh, I want to make $1 million, and there you don't have anything in plan. You don't have anything in place to be able to do that. So set goals to inspire you to be great. Set goals that will be able to challenge you to get up. Okay, set a goal for yourself. Don't go around thinking that everything is just going to fall out of the sky. You have to get up, get started, get motivated, get going. Okay, the seventh thing you got to do is start right where you're at and go for it. Remember, you only live this life once. You have to set a goal for yourself. You have to start betting on yourself, and you have to be like, "Hell, okay, this is what I got to do. This is what my goal is. This is something that I got to fight for." What is it in your life that is worth fighting for? What is it? What is it that you have done that you're really worth fighting for? A goal that's, not just I'm going to get up in the morning at 4 o'clock. Let me tell you what one of my goals was. My goals was to inspire a generation of financial literacy. And that's a huge goal, but it's a very big goal also. But when I narrowed it down, I said, I need to do podcasts. Not only do I need to do podcasts once a week, I need to do it 3 times a week. And I need to do it for 1 hour. Now that's going to stretch me quite thin, right? But that's a goal. That's something that is attainable. That's something that my mindset has to be doing. And guess what? That is something that's measurable. Okay. So when you start setting your goals, make sure that it's worth you fighting for. Okay. It is not worth having if it's not worth fighting for. Okay. Guard your vision. A lot of times we tell our goals and our visions to other people and they shoot us down. Okay. And we get discouraged before we even get started. Guard your guard your vision. Be willing to learn new things. You always got to be willing to learn. You always got to be willing to bet on yourself. You always got to be always attacking the next. Okay, and when you're able to do these type of things, guess what happens? You're able to you're able to really buckle down and find ways on how you can get out of your situation. There's nothing more tragic than to be stuck and don't have a way out. Okay. So you have to figure out, what is my way out? What is my next? What is my why? Surround yourself with people that ask those hard questions. What am I going to do if this happens? What am I going to do if that happens? Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to learn new things. You are your greatest asset. When you look at that person in the mirror, you're looking at the solution to your problem. You know, we all have situations that we're dealing with. If you look at the news today, you know, our political system is being polarizing. Donald Trump and Biden, the things that we used to stand on, we don't stand on anymore. Okay? The things that we used to have confidence in, we don't have confidence no more. So what do we got to do? We have to start betting on the person in the mirror. We got to start to make ourselves feel good about the decisions that we make, right? So the nice thing we got to do is remember that storms don't last forever. Neither does success. If you haven't learned nothing else, you must understand that storms go through our communities very fast. Okay? So does success. So does sunshine. Sometimes it's just you taking a step back and just gathering yourself and saying, "Hey, I got this." That's all it takes. And when you're able to say to yourself, "I got this," guess what happens? You are telling yourself that I am an overcomer. Okay? You start to be telling yourself that I can do this. A couple weeks ago, I taught on the 4 minute mile. When Mr. Bannister broke the 4 minute mile, people across the world sent a shockwave. And guess what happened? Now we have high school kids that beat the 4 minute mile. What happened? Once you start to see somebody else do it, you get that confidence that you can do it. That's why we love winners. Okay? But guess who else is a winner? Even if you never hit your goal, you're still a winner because you chose to get up, set a goal, and believed in yourself. And guess what? That's what winning is all about. I was having a conversation with a young man today, and we was talking about winning and losing, and it's something that stuck out to me. We live in a society that says winning is having the Mercedes Benz, having the dream home, having everything that you want financially, materialistically. That's because we're living in a capitalistic society. But guess what? Winning is more than that. Winning is leaving something for your grandkids, grandkids, grandkids. Winning is also being able to say that I am free to make choices for myself and my family. That's what winning is all about. That's why I started off this whole podcast with talking about financial freedom. You know, what is freedom to you? How can you be free? What is some of the things that you consider as freedom? What is some of the things that you want to leave for your family? How do you want to be remembered? And as I thought about it, as I was talking about it, we're living in the information age once again, and we have this particular show is going to be on Facebook, and we don't know what Facebook is going to look like 8, 9, 10 years from now. But I have two grandkids, and those two grandkids are going to be able to look back and say, "This is what my grandpa did," and this is something that is captured for 1 hour and it's on YouTube, and it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram. All of these things, my grandkids are going to be able to say, "Hey, this is what my grandfather did." To me, that's financial freedom. To me, that's generational wealth. To me, that's the ideal place to be. Now, remember, I said I wanted to financially educate a whole generation. What better way than to start right here? What better way to say, "Hey, I'm betting on myself. I'm betting with my family. I'm betting on my grandkids, that my grandkids can be able to say, 'Hey, this is what my grandfather did.'" What have you done to transform your life to be able to inspire the next generation? Now, it might be something as small as getting up and having Sunday dinner every single day at your house. That's considered success. Or it could be Friday nights, just you and your family, or you and your friends, your loved ones, and being consistent with promoting one another. That can be considered success. But whatever you consider success, make sure that it's in line with what you see. And then the last thing, don't be afraid to start over. I see so many people that they start something and then they get paralyzed, or they get turned down, or somebody fires them, or they lose their job, or something drastic happens, and the only thing that you can think about is your specific situation. "Hey, I'm struggling right now. I am struggling right now." Identify that, but don't be afraid to try and start over. Today you can start over. You can start right where you're at. Don't try to go back to school to get the degree before you start. Don't try to get everything set up before you start. That's the number one thing that I see that people do, is that they say, "Well, I'm going to start it, but I need to do this and this and this first." And guess what? They never get started with the first thing first, and that's start. It's that simple. You have to start someplace. Start right where you're at. Don't procrastinate. You only live once. Take what you got, run with it. If you fail, so what? So what? The cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to you to bet on yourself. You can make it. Just start. I know that sounds cliche, but the cavalry's not coming, ladies and gentlemen. You have to bet on yourself. Yes, you might have the ideal job, and the ideal job might says, "Hey, here go your pink slip." Or you might be with a loved one, and you poured into that person, and guess what? They say they don't love you no more. Or you might have kids, and you sacrificed for years and years and years for your children. And guess what? They have gotten older, and they're saying, "Hey, I don't need all of this. I needed you to be with me. And guess what? I don't want to be around you no more." You might be going through that. Or you might have a best friend that you grew up with, and they backstabbed you, and you're hurt by it. And guess what happened? You find yourself in an isolated area. Or you might be one of the ones that lost a loved one. And guess what? You don't know your next step. You don't know what you're going to do next. You don't know how you're going to make it. But guess what? Tomorrow's here. And guess what? You are too, if you're listening to my voice. Just don't be afraid to start. And then don't be afraid to start over. Those who are willing to adapt to change are the ones who will be able to make it over. Those who are willing to accept failure are the ones who will become winners. See, you can't really win until you've fallen a couple times. In the NBA and in sports, they often say, you got to go through some things in order to get to the top or get to the next level, right? I've often thought about why is failure such a part of success? If you don't know how to fail, you'll never appreciate success. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of the process. We have all failed, and we're going to continue to fall. But get back up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Surround yourself with people who's not afraid to fail. Surround yourself with the mentality that failure is no more than a part of the process to get to where you really want to go. And I guarantee you one thing, when you get there, it will be a lot sweeter after you fail. Because now you can say, I made it, regardless of the failures. Ladies and gentlemen, there is going to come a time where we all got to come and to a crossroad. We all got to come to that. The question is, what are you going to do when your crossroads happen in your life? I gave you some tools. Change the way you're thinking. Surround yourself with people who are quality, that's going to help you go to where you want to go. Yes, you're going to have distractions. Yes, you're going to have the naysayers. Yes, you're going to have the storms. Yes, you're going to be, people are going to talk bad about you. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to do two things. You got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I did the best that I could do. And you got to be able to live with yourself with the decisions that you have made. And if you can do those two things, at the end of the day, you're going to be a winner. I'm here to tell you, if anybody tells you anything different than what I'm getting ready to say, you tell them to come and see. The cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose, the levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. If you've been struggling, trying to find somebody you can coach you, if you're in business, you're trying to get into real estate, or you're trying to figure out how to run your business, I want to get out of the financial race, I want to do some things differently in my personal life, give us a call here at Matt Capital. We're here to help you bet on yourself. When you begin to bet on yourself, there's no greater feeling. I'm telling you, I bet on myself all the time. Every day I wake up and I bet on myself because I know that a lot of people can do what I do, but there's not too many people can be who I am. And to me, that is the greatest gift that God has given all of us. Can nobody do you but you? So start betting on yourself. Give us a call if you want to get out of the rat race. We're getting ready to start to have the next show. It's going to be a business news station. And we're also going to have another show which starts next week, I think, next Tuesday. And it's going to be talking about real estate and credit. So if you have had any questions about real estate or credit or anything of that nature, we want you to tune in to the show. We're going to talk about credit. We're going to talk about real estate. I believe that real estate is the only tool that you can use that is going to get the platform you up into the middle class. I believe that once you start to become a homeowner and you start dealing in real estate and business, that is your tool to get out of the rat race. There's nothing more important than credit and real estate. If you have struggled or want to know a little bit about it, give us a call. Tune in next week. Tune in next Tuesday. We're going to be talking about real estate and credit. Next Wednesday, we're going to have a special guest on our show that's going to teach us how to bet on ourselves. This person is phenomenal. They came from nothing, and now you might know them. But next week, we're going to have a special guest on the show, and we're going to have real estate and credit on Tuesday. If you have wanted to know how to buy a house, where is home buying at, what's the interest rate, well, how do I purchase the house, what are some of the bells and whistles, then guess what? I have a solution for you. Tune in next week. We're going to be talking about generational wealth on Wednesday and betting on yourself. And then on Tuesday of next week, we're going to be talking about credit and real estate. Okay? We're going to start our credit education classes in about another 2 weeks. And we're going to be having a homeowner seminar. And everybody that's looking to buy a house, you can come in and it's free of charge. We're betting on you today. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we got to start to encourage ourselves. We got to bet on ourselves. We got to surround ourselves with people that bet on ourselves, bet on themselves. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. There's no other way to do it. And if anybody tells you any different, you know Cavalry's not coming, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a call, Matt Capital Investment. If you're looking to buy a house, give us a call. If you're looking to get into business, start a business, looking for lines of credit, give us a call. We can help you. We got people on staff that specialize in special things. If you want to just learn how to bet on yourself, give us a call. And guess what? We can help you. You know, in sports, I often use a sport analogy. In sports, we often have coaches that sit on the sidelines and they're not in shape as the athletes that's out there on the court. But a coach can get you a lot further than you can by yourself. They can see things that you can't see. So sometimes you just need a coach. Sometimes you just need that extra push. Sometimes you need that person that you can just springboard off. But whatever it is, keep betting on yourself. Till next week, the cavalry's not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. Thank you. See you next week.